Tonight at 11, the president's executive order to reclassify marijuana has now caught the eye of Indiana's hemp industry. It faces an uncertain future after a move by Congress to end the federal government shutdown last month. Lawmakers slipped some language into the bill that would greatly reduce the amount of THC allowed in popular hemp products. But as Alex Almanza discovered, this latest move by the president could be promising for the hundreds of thousands of jobs in our state's hemp industry.
Since November, hemp businesses across Indiana have been in limbo. Jack Babcock runs a THC and CBD beverage business. He says a bill that would have shut down his business has had him on edge.
So you're talking about really serious jobs being lost, and it's all very concerning.
Hemp businesses here in Indiana were preparing for the worst, as the threat of a fast-growing industry being upended was a good possibility. But this week, that conversation shifted.
For decades, this action has been requested by American patients suffering from extreme pain, incurable diseases.
President Trump signed an executive order beginning the process to reclassify marijuana, a move that doesn't directly change hemp law, but sent a signal to the industry.
The White House signaled strong support for the hemp industry and instructed federal agencies to work with Congress to really fix the hemp language.
Justin Swanson with the Midwest Hemp Council says that message matters.
An acknowledgement that the law that was passed does way more harm than it does good.
For businesses that have spent months bracing for the worst, that shift doesn't erase the risk.
And so I think that we just ask for, a fair shake and, for our voices to be heard. And, I really think that's as simple as that.
In Indianapolis, Alex Almanza, 13 News.
The new hemp standard passed by Congress is set to take effect late next year, giving lawmakers time to revisit this issue if they choose to do so. The federal reclassification also has Hoosiers eyeing the State House, among them Jeff Staker. He's a U.S. Marine Corps veteran. He used cannabis for several years for chronic back pain that he developed during his service. He's part of the group Hoosier Veterans for Medical Cannabis and has spent years on the front lines here in Indiana fighting to get medical marijuana legalized.
And I think this is the next step, and it will open up the door for the remaining handful of states that do not have cannabis for medical reasons. I think Indiana can take the proper steps that we need to do to see that this is medically available to our veterans and our citizens.
Indiana Governor Mike Braun has indicated he's open to conversations about legalizing medical marijuana, especially if there's movement at the federal level. So far, we haven't seen any bills yet filed this legislative session to address this particular issue. Now, we've been following this ongoing debate over legalizing marijuana in Indiana for years. You can find all of our coverage and a breakdown of this federal reclassification. Right now, we've got it posted on WTHR.com.